Hi everybody, thank you for joining. Okay, I think we had a breakage in sound, but now the sound should be okay. Okay, thank you very much. Hi everybody, thank you for joining the live show, the live session. My name is Divine and I'm based in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm an IT enthusiast across different disciplines. And so this session is a quick session to look into how the year has been, the year 2025. What are some of the success stories we have achieved or attained? What also are some of the challenges we have attained? And so this session essentially is to loop back, okay? I know people will confuse between looking back and looping back, but programmers would best understand what I mean in this scenario by loop back. And so when we loop back into the year 2025, we would see a lot of areas, gray areas, where we either made it big or we messed up. And so the essence of looping back is to be able to factor what are some of the challenges we experienced, and are they worth resolving, or do we just sweep them under the carpet and we move on with life? And so before we start, I would like you to share the link to as many people as you can so that they can benefit, and why not watch after. Also, like and follow me for more updates. Now, with the evolution of IT over the few years, I can say from 2020, when AI actually started visiting the central stage in IT, it was a moment for everyone to start looking at what we carry, and also looking into where we are going, where we come from, and how best we want to carry on what we have coming. And so a lot of people started panicking about IT or AI, having to take over their jobs. But then, oh, okay, someone says there's an echo. Let me see. Yes, bro. Do you still get the echo? Just to affirm. Okay, so looking at what we have coming, artificial intelligence actually made waves in the perspective of pushing people to think that they are going to be replaced. Of course, we have spoken with a lot of people across the globe who persistently say the coming of artificial intelligence actually took over their jobs. Thank you, Bratangu. I acknowledge your presence, and I want to say thank you for having held my hands through the process of me growing in IT. There will be shows when I would want to have you on board. And so for all others who are coming on board, welcome, and take a moment to just reflect, what you want to attain in your tech life, and also where you want to project to. Now, with the coming of AI, so many things have shifted. And at this moment, if you are not putting your hands on IT generally, then there are a lot of concepts or a lot of ideas that would come up, and you'll find yourself wanting, not because you cannot do them, but because there's that primary fright in you that AI is going to replace your job. Now, before we dive into the bigger picture, the bigger things of artificial intelligence and neural networks, machine learning, large language models, we want to first of all look at the primary or the basics of IT. And so while many people will skip into the era of AI and enjoy the flow, our recommendation is to primarily review and have a stance in understanding the basics of IT. Now, before you jump into IT, here are the things you need to know. Some of the myths that would scare a lot of people. Most people who are not practicing IT or who are not in the field of IT think that there is a whole war going on in the background for people with tech backgrounds. But then that's not totally true, because IT is just like your normal driving, your normal nursing job, your normal teaching, your restaurant attendancy, and whatever it is. However, the majority of work scope in IT requires a level of reasoning that is usually out of the box. Why do I say out of the box? Because if you get into IT, you will find out at some point that generally you don't feel comfortable working under people or being told around what to do. Why? Because most of the times you'll find out that people who are invested in IT tend to have a higher reasoning in terms of problem solving by the very nature of their background in IT, as against managers who just studied management and took up positions or roles in companies as managers and have to oversee the technocrats who are at the base of the enterprise. And so when there is that disjoint between management and the IT staff, there is usually bound to be oppression and repression, and the spiral effect then flows into the area of people resigning and taking up self-service, self-employment, self-tasks, and all of that. And you'll find out that most people with IT backgrounds are usually located in the entrepreneurial space. So, before you want to dive into IT, there are a number of things that you would need to understand. And I've been working on a whole package which will be unveiled come 2026. And that would be a myriad of shows that we will be running. And just the core of transitioning from other careers into IT, I did introduce a bit of what is coming. I gave some snippets, but then come 2026, we will be having full live broadcast on guiding you on how to transition from your current career, if you are not in the space of IT, into the field of IT. And the reason why we are doing this is because we have, through research, found out repeatedly that most people who jump from other careers into the field of IT just go for the certification, write the exams, pass, and when they get into the field, it becomes very challenging. Why? Because the foundations have not been well laid. It's like a child who grows up and they have maybe a heart challenge, or they're asthmatic, and they are so passionate about jumping into soccer, to become a soccer star simply because they heard that somebody else is making a kill in soccer. But you want to identify the area where you are best suited or you're passionate about, and you follow your passion. That way you can succeed. And so we'll be bringing you a lot of advice, a lot of direction in the field of, in the area of transitioning from other careers into IT, so that you should take up the branch of IT that best mirrors your passion and your calling. Then that way you can enjoy being in the field. Now, when we look at IT, there are different areas in IT. First, you have the core, which is your playing around with the components of computers and other computing devices or systems. So you want to look at things like computer software, which is learning how to navigate the whatever magic is happening on the screen of your computer, which is where you familiarize yourself with the basics. Then you have PC engineering, which is the area of computer hardware maintenance, support. You want to look at that and familiarize yourself with replacing components on your computer when it's broken, and also installing or updating various components on your system. Then you want to look at the area of networking, which is interconnecting computers, one computer to another, connecting with the internet and connecting with like building your home networks, running servers and all of that. We'll be looking at that come 2026. Then there is the area of web development, which is also a branch of IT, where you do, in fact, web development and branding. So with web development, you create web pages, mobile applications, and web applications that can actually be used to communicate online with a wide range of people across the globe. Excuse. Then you also want to look at graphic design, managing your components, doing branding, managing colors and all of that, bringing your artistic background into the field of graphic design. Then you look at printing as a section. So printing goes with branding and graphic design. Then you want to look at your hosting, web hosting, service hosting, cloud hosting, and all of that. So we'll be looking at all the different sections thereof. And then you want to look at training itself in the area of IT. So after having learned all what you can learn, Then you come to the area of training, which is another calling for you to actually pick up a career in. So come 2026, we'll be giving you highlights on how you can dive into the area of training in IT and to understand the challenges that trainees actually go through and how best they can take those challenges and make good out of. So you want to first be the example that the trainees are following, and how do you prepare yourself to become the best at training. Then we look at the area of machine learning. You have your things like robotics, large language models, neural networks, and how do the sensory phase of machine learning actually interact with between humans and machines to make that contact very efficient. Then you look at artificial intelligence, which is intelligence. Some people say is intelligence beyond or out of the world. But then when you start putting your hands into AI, you will discover so soon that the patterns are all the same. And so all you need to do is, first of all, know what you want to do, what you want to use AI for. Then you go for the right orientation in learning, and that can greatly assist you. Now, I would say I am a culprit of one who does not jump into tech just because it's fancy, but I would rather sit back and look at how people hit their heads one to another around the place until when it makes sense for me to dive into it, I go for it. And there are a number of AI components or interfaces that I use today, which I didn't sit to properly say I'm learning. Why? Because I would sit back, I would listen to people talk, I would just look up, some of the challenges that people are facing in using those various components. And the moment I identify what exactly I want to use that particular branch of AI for, I dive into it and I just do what I have to do. And it's been quite an amazing journey going through that area of AI. Now, not to say AI is a bad thing or it's a super excellent thing. It only takes your creativity to make AI work for you. So if you are scared that AI is going to replace your job or is going to take you out of the job space, then it means that you are limited in creativity. So my personal advice to you would be more to step up with your creativity and actually make yourself available to want to focus on the output that you want to see from the AI rather than just panicking on the mysteries of AI. Yeah. And so I want to say hi to the number of people who are watching at the moment. If you are coming in new, then just take a moment and like the video, share it to your network, and also follow me for more so that we can keep connection. Okay, we can keep this initiative going, and so we would be able to do more as we proceed. Now, 2025 has been quite a year of mixed achievements for many people. There are people who have lost a lot. There are people who have gained a lot. There are people who have just been stable, nothing shaken, nothing broken. But there are people who have made a serious killing, okay? A serious killing in terms of achievements. The go-getters have done so much this year. But from talking with people around the globe, I found out that 2025 was or is, because we are still a few days to go to jump out of the year. 2025 has been quite a year that you want to sit back and really look at yourself on the inside. It has been a year of reflection. Given the too many challenges we came out of and the focus that we actually set up for ourselves for this year. And so while we have done so much, there are other areas where we paid attention, which was in the area of your personal or your physical networks, your communities, and you want to look at your friendships, your partnerships, your relationships, and all of that. And so paying attention to these things is very important because it takes you through a process of identifying where you are lacking and also making preparations towards resolving those lacks. So in a nutshell, I just want to say, having looked back into the year 2025 and gearing to the year 2026, this I think 1 week remaining, or 1 week and a few days, take a moment, sit back and look at yourself, do a serious introspection, and also find the areas where you were strongest, continue to improve those areas. And in the areas where you were weak, take a step back, challenge yourself, find out how best you can educate yourself in those areas, and see to it that no matter what you do, you actually take yourself through to the end successfully. Because come 2026, with the advent of IT getting into so many spaces, if you are not in the field of IT, or you don't have an understanding or a background in IT, then you will be so limited in many areas. Because take, for example, in agriculture today, you may be the best agriculturalist, but if you don't understand how to sell yourself through media, then you would just be producing for your local community. And so there is not much that you can do to say you are successful in your farming venture. Likewise, if you are in the space of housing, in the space of housing, hotel management, and all the other accommodation facilities, and you are not practicing showing up in the field of IT or showing up on media, then you would find yourself very limited. Now, the reason for this is because IT is taking over the world. And so as the expansion comes, you want to also be amongst and not find yourself wanting. So having looked at all of this and looking at where we are going to in 2025, in 2026, I just want to say a Merry Christmas to you all and a Happy New Year come 2026. But most certainly, we will have other shows in between the lines so as to conclude the year appropriately. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. And as we look forward to meeting again, it's a good day from my end and from the entire Ceetro family. Thank you. Have a great day and remain blessed. I am Divine and I'm with Ceetro Media.